Hello, I'm Adam Peterson. I want to talk to you about a new tool today that really helps teams come together, learn how to work together faster, and takes into account their personality types and their strengths in one assessment that's actually pretty cheap and pretty fast. This was developed in 2020, so you might not have heard about it. It's called the Working Genius. And it's based on the fact that there's something that we're good at, that we enjoy doing more at work based on who we are, just how we're made, and other things that actually frustrate us. And isn't it nice to know that about your teammates? And so maybe some things that might frustrate you, they enjoy doing, so it's easier for them. So that's the model we're going to talk through right now. It's called the Working Genius, and I'll take you through this model. There are 6 areas that you would be assessed in. This is a $25 online assessment developed by the Table Group and Patrick Lencioni. And the assumption is you have 2 things that give you joy when you do them. 2 more of these that you've learned to do well, but they really don't invigorate you or make you happy when you do them, but you're able to do them. You've learned to because, honestly, we need to get through school or get through life. And there's 2 areas that you avoid that are your working frustrations. And these 2 are ones that you procrastinate, you stay away from. When you do them, you probably don't do them with the highest quality as people that have them as a competency or one of their geniuses. And so I'll take you through how these fit together and how these work. First of all, it's really based on the concept that we go from ideas and implement those, and then they become sort of operational, and we execute them. So in this model, we normally think about, and maybe some companies even have had this is how we generate ideas, and then we go and produce it. And they do it in two halves. Back in the 90s, we really did discover there was a middle part there. We wanted to stop throwing ideas over the wall, we say, to manufacturing. However, even up to last year, Nike still struggled with this. So the Table Group went there, consulted, and brought this model into Nike. And they realized they were missing this middle section of activation. The designers were developing new footwear and new activewear. And then by the time manufacturing made it, because to make it work in production, they made changes that the designers weren't happy with or whatever. So this middle area of activation is very important. So the working geniuses are divide up each step where there's 2 geniuses that complement each other that help that happen. And you see those as responders and disruptors. So the genius of wonder sees things in the world the way things are, and asks, why is it that way? Now, they don't need answers, really. They just wonder. And they'll wonder and they learn and go on these internet rabbit trails, digging up lots of things because they're just interested in the world around them. The genius of invention then takes these posed questions, like, isn't there a better way to do this? Or why is it like that? And starts thinking about better ways for this to happen and disrupt the environment with that. So wonder is responding to what they see, and then disruptors are taking that and disrupting and going back and saying, hey, let's change the way things are. The people with the gift of discernment, or the genius of discernment, will receive those ideas and filter them and say, have you thought about this? Or what about that? Or this might happen. And as a person that has the genius of invention, that's always frustrated me. It's like, well, come up with your own ideas, right? Why are you shooting mine down all the time? Let's hear some ideas from you. I'm doing all the work here. And really, this model helped me a lot. Realized, okay, that's not fair. If, I should be thanking the people with discernment, taking my ideas and running it through their filter, because they're more likely to work. And I kind of have learned that on my own, I guess, over trial and error. But at the same time, it's really helpful to think this through and say, okay, thank you. You have discerning. You don't have to have invention. I also like to stop at this point, and for all the managers out there that have said, don't bring me problems, bring me solutions, you really are shooting yourself in the foot. Because people that see things and want to improve things don't always have a solution for you, right? They might not be the inventor. They might have wonder and discernment and coming to you saying, we need to do something about this. And you say, great, go back and invent something. And that might be their frustration. So this is that idea of kicking off new projects, new ideas, and what we really do early in a charter phase of a project. So then galvanizing, and in that world of projects, this is where the project leader really comes in and rallies and inspires and builds the team and gets people excited about making these changes. Here's how things used to be, but we're going to make it better. And they disrupt people's attention to get them focused on this new approach, right? So that's why they're a disruptor. Now, enablement responds to that, going, okay, if we're going to change this, we better dot these I's and cross these T's because, we're going to break something over here that we're going to have to fix. And they also look around at just what needs to be done, right? We're kind of making a mess as we do this. I'll go check and make sure that's okay and clean up over here. And they really do love helping things get done and helping others. Galvanizers sort of like to build the team and select the team, where enablement supports the team. So you can be a very good project leader not having one of those, but either one will actually take you through the project quite well. Tenacity is what it takes to finish things. Tenacity will disrupt anything blocking the way of implementation getting done. They want to see change in the world. Wonder responds to the world. It's kind of how things come in. And then tenacity drives it to make a change and see things get done. And tenacity really doesn't matter what it is. They like to crank it out, get it done, check, things off the list. Great to have these people on your project near the end. The sad part is normally they don't like a lot of the ideation and solution finding and the early parts of ideation and activation, but they're so helpful at the end of the project. So how you would use this with your team, you all do the assessment. If you don't want to pay the $25 a person, you could do what I just did, describe it to them, talk about it and say, what do you think? Where do you think your top 2 things are and your bottom 2? It is nice to get the assessment and have that done for you, and it describes all this for your team members so they come in already educated about it. So I did this with my family, and so my 2 boys have Wonder, but not my daughter, Abby. My wife and I, my boy, Marty, we all like to invent and create things, very creative, not Morgan or Abby. And then you see how this changes, right? Everybody's name will be up here 4 times. So now you see Lori has both invention and discernment. So she can invent as well as think through if that's something that she should be doing or not. Where Marty has the invention but not discernment, right? And Zach has wonder, and Marty has wonder, but Zach does not have the. But Marty and Zach both are down here on discernment as well together. So then you see galvanizing. That's myself and my son Zach, not Annie, Lori, and Morgan. And then again, I'm not in the enablement box. And as a family, we're lucky we have Abby because she can really see what needs to be done and runs it down. And we all laugh about this because that's her. She's always been the person super scheduled, has a plan, hits the plan. That's what she does. And the rest of us have a plan that we might not actually finish. All right. And that's what makes us up. What I'm not plotting on here is our competencies. So anything we're not listed on, yeah, we can do that. It doesn't give us joy. It doesn't frustrate us, but we can do it. But with your team, this is what you really care about. Who are the go-to people? And then who are the ones that I really don't want to ask to do that because it would frustrate them? So I hope this helps give you an overview, how it could be used, how you might use it with your teams, and just to think through the steps of your project, that you really do need all these. And just because it frustrates somebody doesn't mean they don't have to write a report. Just because you don't have tenacity doesn't mean you get out of doing work. You just have to sort of realize, hey, it might be hard for you, but I need you to lock yourself in a room and finish this because you'll probably choose to do other things than finish that report. So hopefully this is helpful. I'm Adam Peterson, and I'm glad you listened to this. Thank you.